Hey team, I love the terminal. Specifically, I am on a Mac, an Apple machine, and they have something called the terminal in here, which allows me to run commands, which is just awesome. But for a lot of people, getting into the terminal feels really uncomfortable because we are used to moving our mouse and clicking around and doing stuff. The cool thing is that once you get comfortable with even just a few commands, the terminal unlocks a lot of speed and efficiency. So today, what I want to go through is some of the basic commands that you will use just to move around the terminal, to find stuff, to move into folders and directories, and to see what's in there, and some other stuff. Nothing too advanced, just the basics. Okay. So as an example, one of the commands that we'll see is pwd. Pwd stands for print working directory. Now it's not going to print to like paper. It doesn't do that. But what it does is it outputs my current working directory, which is, strangely enough, also a tilde. Okay. In terminal, whenever you see this squiggly line, this tilde, you can recognize that as the working directory. Okay. And I can do that from anywhere. For instance, I can change directory with a cd command for change directory. And maybe I go into something like my development folder. Okay. And if you didn't realize, you can actually tab complete sometimes. So I don't have to type it all out and possibly mistype it. Okay. At which point now you can see it's changed. And when I hit pwd, again, I am in not users Dave, but users Dave, capital D, development. Okay. And then if I go in there one more time, I can actually cd into learning, which is a folder that I've set up. Okay. And now I'm in development learning. So if I pwd, right, users Dave, development learning. Lots of really simple stuff just with cd and pwd. Now from here, I can do stuff, okay? As an example, I could cd right here, and what has happened? I didn't actually supply it a path, so it went back to the home directory. Again, pwd, right? Users Dave. Now, I don't need to do it a step at a time. I can actually cd into development and then into learning. And again, I'm already there. So very fast, especially with that tab completion. If I know where I'm going, it's very fast to get everywhere. Okay. Again, pwd, just like this. Pretty cool stuff. Okay. You can clear it. I didn't have plans to teach that one, but if you find that the terminal is getting to the bottom, you can empty it out and start again. Okay. So we're in this learning folder, and it would be kind of boring to keep going like this, to using cd to go somewhere and then print working directory. We want to do more. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to your favorite browser and go to github.com/dave-cross/teaching shell movements. And if that's a lot, I will be supplying a link. But if all you did was went to github.com/davidcross and then over to repositories, and somewhere near the top, you can actually just find it as terminal. Oh, no, it's shell. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. There it is. I actually have two different ones, but we want shell movements. Okay, so click in there. If you've used Git before, you know what's coming. You can just go and git clone that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. If this is your first time ever doing any of this, if you're still kind of new to the thing, we can just download a zip, okay? And that will download to my downloads folder. So I have this right here, okay? Another command that you'll see me use, and I will use it a lot more later on, is open. And I think this one is specific to Mac, but open allows you to open a file, or in this case, we can open a folder. So this is my learning folder, right? There's Dave, development, learning. And I'm going to drag this into here, right? Just to keep it simple. That way we aren't doing a lot of magic today. and I can double click on that. There are in fact shell commands, terminal commands that will allow you to unzip right from here. So very efficient. Don't need to know them right now, but here we are. Okay. So inside of here, I don't really have a way to see what's in this folder. At least not at a glance. It doesn't tell me when I am moving around what's in here. So I might type something and it'll be like, no, I don't know what that is. Okay. So we need to find a way to do that. And we do that using the ls command. ls is for list. Everything is very short on terminal because it is years and years old when they used to have a restriction on how much data could be sent. So they kept everything nice and simple. But if I hit ls, you'll see that I have two things. My terminal highlights folders as green, so you might see that, and files as just regular white. Okay, so this is a folder. Okay, from here we can move into that folder. So into teaching, and again, tab completion for the win, right? Just like this. Again, print working directory. It's exactly the same. Kind of gets boring when you actually have your terminal prompt set up. If you don't have it set up, then print working directory is your new best friend. Okay. But at some point, you'll probably want to customize your terminal a little bit, just like I did, at which point it tells you where you are. Very cool stuff. Okay. So I am in this teaching shell movements folder. I can also go back up. So if I hit ... is for the parent folder. Okay. The parent folder is learning. So it's saying CD back to learning. Okay. And that's exactly what I've done. So I can CD into teaching again. And that would be the same as CD, what would it be? / development / learning. Okay. Saves a whole lot of typing by just moving up a folder. Okay. So again, PWD, just like this, CD into teaching, CD out of it. Wonderful. Okay. We can totally do this. This is all stuff that we can do. Okay. So let's go into the project. First, I'm going to clear again. Okay. So let's go into the project with that CD command again. Okay. Right here. Whoops. What was it called? I actually forgot for a second here. Let's go find out. Just like this. Oh, it was teaching. See, I messed myself up there. So CD into teaching. Okay. And here we are. And we have a bunch of stuff. So again, I can ls everything. And if I don't supply any sort of arguments, ls will just list everything. Now, there are some cool things around here where we can ls-1, and that will do it as a single line. Okay. We can also ls-a to see everything. In this case, I only have a few folders. So anything with a dot, at least on Macs and Linux and Unix, that's a hidden file. Okay. So this gitignore file is hidden, which is why we didn't see it up in this list. Okay. And then you have the parent and the current. So this is kind of silly, but you can CD into the current folder as much as you want. Doesn't really do anything, but if you're having one of those days where you just want to do your thing, you can totally do that. Okay. So we have another folder inside of here. Okay. And that folder is structured kind of like a house. Okay. So if we clear this again, we can see right here, the green one is a folder. Okay. So I can CD into house, and I can look around with that ls command, and I can CD into the upstairs, right? Maybe I'm doing an open house and I'm doing a walkthrough upstairs, and I can look around and I can CD into the bedroom. Which bedroom? Well, bedroom 3. Let's do it. And look around, and I can move around. Okay. Oh, wardrobe is very interesting. Okay. But I can also move back. So maybe the bedroom 3. I don't want to go into bedroom 3. I wanted to go into bedroom 2. So I can cd to the parent and then slash to the bedroom 2. Okay. And now I went from bedroom 3 to bedroom 2, just like this, and I can look around. So I can do that. Peter is very interesting, right? We'll get to that in a second. But we can also move up repeatedly. So right now I am 1, 2, 3. Looks like I'm 3 directories deep, three folders deep. So I can go cd dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot slash. That's 3, which should put me back in teaching tools, okay, or teaching shell movements. The root directory, we call that. Now, there are some cool things in here. So something that you want to play with right now, okay? If we go and ls this, we have something like random folder, okay? So what I recommend is this is going to send you to a random place in the house, and then you should cd back to the root. So it looks kind of like this, okay? I'm going to use the source command. Source, not something that I want to get deep into today, but source lets you add extra code. It's kind of like importing in JavaScript, if you know what that is, or into Python, okay? So we can source that random folder.sh, sh is for shell script, okay? And where are you now? Navigate back to the root of your project, okay? I can see that I'm in the basement, but let's do it cleanly, okay? So print working directory tells me that, yep, I am in fact in the basement. So cd dot dot slash, just like this, puts me right back into the root folder, okay? I can do that again. Really cool tip here is the up arrow will actually let you cycle through these. So I can just up arrow back to that. And where am I now? Well, I'm in bedroom 3. So cd dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot slash. That's 1, 2, 3 folders up, right? Back to the root directory. And I can keep doing this. I could keep playing with that. So take a few seconds to jump around with that. Try that source random folder script, and then we will move on. Excellent. I hope you tried it, because you are going to be using the cd command so much that getting really comfortable with it is just such a superpower, okay? So from here, we can actually start to look around and find stuff. For instance, way back when, you might have seen Peter, right? Peter.md somewhere, okay? Peter is one of the Pevensie children from Chronicles of Narnia, just in case you're wondering. So all 4 of those children are hiding in here somewhere, and we can go looking for them, okay? So we can go into the house again, okay? And as I recall, there was a wardrobe. If you remember where it is, you are in good shape, okay? Because it means you can go right there. But let's take a look here, okay? So ls, the wardrobe in the story was in one of the top floors, so I'm going to assume it's upstairs somewhere, okay? Just like this, and it was in one of the bedrooms, right? Was it in bedroom 2 or bedroom 3? I don't really remember. Actually, I do, but you might not remember, so let's try something different. We can actually ls bedroom star, and that will list all of those different things. Now there's Peter again, right? It actually lists the directory and then the files inside of it, which is really nice. And there's the wardrobe. Okay, so wardrobe is in bedroom 3. We can do that. Bedroom 3, just like this. And ls again, the wardrobe, cd into the wardrobe. Ls again. There are some coats, very interesting. There's Narnia, which is a pretty good clue of where we're headed. So into Narnia, just like this. Ls again, and we found Lucy. Now we know that Peter is in room 2, so we could in fact go cd dot dot slash dot dot slash. How many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, I think. Dot dot slash, and then right into bedroom 2, and find Peter. Okay. So take a few minutes and give that a try. See if you can find the other two. The other two children are named Susan and Edmund. Okay. Take a few seconds to figure it out. Excellent. I hope you paused it. I hope you tried that because we are totally going to do it. I have no idea where they are, honestly. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm not going to find them first time out. But let's give it a try, okay? So I'm going to CD back to the front door, I guess. Let's call it the front door. So right here, I think, is where we are. Now we are in the house. Now, there was one. Where was it? I think there was one in the kitchen. I don't really remember. Let's go check. Okay. Right here, and I see is somebody hiding in the pantry. There's Edmund. Excellent. So we found Edmund. I guess I did remember kind of where they are. Susan is somewhere in the basement, in the downstairs, whatever you're calling that. So let's go back to the front door. // to get to house. If you're ever lost, you can print working directory. If this is looking like a hot mess, you can clear it out. Okay. So again, we're going to ls into the basement, just like this. Take a look around. I don't think it was utility room, but let's go check. Okay. And take a look. It was not, so we're going to go out of there. Sometimes you don't even need the slash, so I kind of cheated a little bit there. Okay. Depends on how your system is set up. So if you find that you needed the slash for that command, just like I did there, it's kind of muscle memory for me. A bit of a mistake on my part, but I'm going to leave it in because it's cool. So what were the other ones? We had the rec room, right? So CD into the rec room. Let's look around. There she is. There's Susan right there. So Susan was in the rec room, Peter in the upstairs bedroom 2, Lucy in Narnia, and Edmund in the kitchen pantry. Very interesting times. Now, because it wouldn't be fun if I didn't leave you with a challenge, right? Let's try it again. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to use that source command again. But this time we aren't going to go random folder. We're going to go hide and seek. Not hide util. Come on. Where is it? Oh, I need to go one more up. See, I haven't done it enough. There we go. Just like this. ls. There's my hide and seek command. Okay. So source, hide and seek. Okay. And when you do this, it's going to say, oh, look at that. I'm moving one to the other. If you see this, it's because Susan decided to hide in the exact same place. So you can try it again, and it should just hide her in a different place. So now all of the Pevensie children are hidden in a different place, and it's your job to find them. Okay. So let's go into the house. Okay. And take a look around. Let's go to the, is there someone in the closet? Let's go and look. Oh, right off the bat, there's Lucy. Okay. So go back. Let's go into the bathroom. Sure, bathroom, just like this. Look around, and we could keep doing this. In fact, I suggest that you try it a few times. Whenever you find them all, CD back to your root folder, okay, which is the Teaching Shells movement, okay, and then try it again. So source, hide and seek, okay, and it will move them around. So take a few minutes to try that. Excellent. At this point, you're going, that kind of sucks, right? Maybe, right? Looking around and going into folders and then looking around and going out of folders, it feels very slow, especially compared to clicking with your mouse, because you can click into folders, you can click out of folders, especially if you're using that really nice tree view, right? You can just drop down into here and find stuff just like that. But there are better ways. And so let's go and find a different way, a better way. And that command is find. Okay. So whenever we want to, we can find something. Now with find, we need to tell it where we want to start. We could start in the home folder. We could start in the very root of the project. We could even start right where we are. Okay, this is your current folder. Okay, and then you go and send it I think they call it a primary. Okay, which is we're going to send in a name. Okay, so with that name, we can go and look for Lucy. Now, if we do this, it's not going to find anything. And that's because it's taking this at literal face value. So we need to send it as Lucy star. Okay. If you've been around on computers for a long time, using the star as a bit of a glob or a select anything property, that's what this is doing. Okay. So now we can see that, oh yeah, she's in the downstairs guest room. Okay. And we can do that with the others. So we could find Edmund, just like this. He's in the upstairs linen closet. Seems like a good place. Right here we have Susan going by age ascending, right? Susan is in the guest room closet, so very close to Lucy. And of course, Peter, right? Just, with one T, there we go. He is just upstairs. He's hanging out upstairs in the hallway, I guess, right? Very interesting stuff. So we can join these. It would be kind of silly to do them all in one individually, but you could, right? Instead, we could go find.name dot dash name. And then inside of here, we go Lucy star, right? And then we can use dash or, okay? And dash or lets us set a new primary. So dash name Edmund, okay? Edmund, just like this. Probably didn't need to do it all, but we can see where each of them is. So dash or, dash name, again, Susan, just like this with a star, right? Now we're finding them all. A little bit long, but we can absolutely do this. As a cool little side note, you might have mistyped the capital letter once or twice, right? So if you put in Susan, it's not going to find it. So it is case sensitive. But you can, if you really wanted to, in front of here, you go iname, which means insensitive name. Insensitive name. There's a joke somewhere in there. But right here, okay, that will allow you to find Susan again. So at this point, it wouldn't really matter where that is. Maybe you are being completely insensitive, and there it is, okay? It still finds it. So case insensitive. Just like this, you can do that with all of them, and you could even go ahead and find Peter. So at this point, you can, actually, let's just go do it. Or dash iname, Peter with a star to find the rest of it. And there are all four. So again, we can run that script. So we haven't gone anywhere. That's the really cool thing about find, is that we haven't gone anywhere. We've just, we've done everything from the root of the folder, of the project, okay? So at this point, we can source hide and seek and find them. How do we do that? We can use the up arrow to go to our find and find them immediately. Peter and Lucy hiding in the same exact place. Okay. We could go and hide them again, right? Fire it again, and they will be in a completely different place. So go give that a try. That's something that you can do right now. Hopefully you did that. We're going to make it even a little bit better. So if you are used to using that find command, okay? If you're used to regular expressions, you can do that. So as an example, instead of find, okay, we still use find, which is a dot, okay? But before that dot, we're going to send in something called a flag, okay? And that flag stands for extended regular expressions, which is regular expressions are their whole own thing, okay? So I'm not going to get into this too much, but again, we tell it which folder we want, and then we send in our primary, which is telling it that we're going to use regex, and now we set up the regular expression, which is any character whatsoever, any number of those characters, okay? And then right here we have Lucy, or, okay, that pipe means or Peter, or Susan, or Edmund, okay? Just like this, we wrap it all up and we go .md. The dot actually doesn't mean anything in here, but we should get the exact same thing, okay? In fact, we can even do it like this. We can use the ls command. So again, we were able to find some things if we send an argument to ls, and we can do exactly that. So we could go -1 so that it's a single column. And then we use a double star, and the double star is for directories. So any number of directories in here. And then again, this time we use curly braces, but Lucy and Peter, Susan, Edmund, okay? Again, closing it off with the curly brace .md, okay? At which point we should be able to get that. Oh, I misspelled Edmund. Thank you very much. Just like this. Excellent, okay? You'll notice that it is a little bit different when you use the ls command versus the find, because it doesn't add the /. Very interesting. I would suggest getting comfortable with either of them because they are both very, very powerful, okay? And you can glob and do things. As an example, because I'm in the root of the thing, I can go and find how many bathrooms are in here, okay? So find inside of the house -name, and we're going to go *bathroom, just like this. And whoops, I did it wrong. So I used Control-C to get out of that because I forgot a quote, okay? So if you ever break something and you need to get out, Control-C gets you out of that, okay? But let's try it one more time. I can actually move back with the arrow key. And now I can find that there are 4 bathrooms in this house, okay? I can go through and find out how many actual rooms. I can go and find all of the rooms. So again, using the house, we're just going to use the backspace to get rid of all of this. And this time we can go type. Now all of our rooms are directories. So type D, which will list out all of my different rooms. The house, I guess that would be the foyer. Depends on what you're calling it. But there we go. There's a list of all of the rooms. Okay. So lots of fun stuff. Now, wrapping it up. Okay. I want to finish with just a couple extra bits because we've done a lot with just a little bit. Okay. If all you do is spend your time learning about print working directory, PWD, change directory, list, that's pretty powerful. Okay. And then if you add find to that, you're a step ahead of a lot of developers. Okay. But let's review some of the other ones that we did. So you might remember that I used open. Okay. Open allows you to open a file, open a folder. So I've opened this twice now. I had the root one here and this one here. Okay. But I can also open files into applications. Okay. And I do that with -A. So let's say I wanted to open this project into Visual Studio Code. Now you might think that you can just go code and then send it the directory, right? The dot is for the directory, but this is going to scream no. And that's because we need the full name. And if I go over here to my applications and scroll way, way down, it should be under V, I think, Visual Studio Code. There's a space in there, which is annoying. There's 2 spaces, okay? So this way I actually need to go with quotes, okay? If you have spaces, you need the quotes. You will see that a lot if you're doing it, okay? So Visual Studio Code, close it out just like this, and now it opens, okay? So if you want to explore this project inside of your code editor, you could. Or if you had an index.html file, you could open it into Google Chrome using the same thing. Open-A, Google Chrome, index.html, okay? Lots of power in here. Of course, that is, well, kind of inefficient, especially when VS Code gives that to you. So if you're in VS Code and you haven't done this yet, Command-Shift-P to bring up the tools, and then type in shell. And you're going to see this install code command in path, okay? Capital letters path. We might talk about that later. But at this point, you can do that. It'll say that it was successfully installed. And now you have access to code, okay? So the code command is Visual Studio Code, at which point I can open this folder exactly the same way, okay? There's no magic to it. So very helpful things. If for whatever reason you've been locked out of a command because some of these tools do have startup commands like code, right? Well, now you can go and create your own using Open-A, whatever the app is. Very handy, okay? So all the way back so that we can see stuff. Things we learned today, it's all in this repo, so I definitely recommend you go take a look. But print working directory, right? PWD. It doesn't print to paper, it prints to the screen, okay? That's kind of an old school thing. Change directory, CD, get very used to doing that because you will do that everywhere, okay? And as an example, one extra bit that I want to talk about CD really fast is if I am in my root directory, okay? And hopefully I didn't leave it open, see, because I'm silly, but CD back to development, back to learning, back to teaching, whoops, back to learning, thank you, there it is, okay? And let's open this really fast, okay, with the open command. I'm going to leave this right here just for a second, and then I'm going to CD back to my root directory, okay? So if you don't want to type this out, if you know exactly where your stuff is, a little magic trick, I don't know if this is for all computers, it might just be Apple, but you can CD, go to that folder, let's go folder up, okay? And then you can drag this in and it will give you the entire URL. So an extra little bonus there, okay? But back to the thing. So print working directory, change directory, we can list files. List is very powerful, right? You can see all kinds of information about directories and folders. We can find stuff now, we can open stuff, and we can open stuff in VS Code, okay? And we did all that while playing around with the files in this project. So definitely worth a try. Questions around that? Anything that you found difficult or challenging? Anything that you found really, really easy? Hit me up in those comments and let me know what you think of this. I'm very interested to see how this helps you, okay? Very, very committed to making it better. So let me know all of that good stuff. And I will see you in the next one.